Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Happy Customers Festival. I'm Daniel. I'm the CEO of Arrows. We're the host of the Happy Customers with a few of the great partners below. If you see all the logos, those are all the partners you're going to hear from today. We're going to bring up Yamini in a second. But before we do that, I wanted to give you a quick introduction to why we're doing the Happy Customers Festival. First, Arrows, I'm the CEO and co-founder. We're a HubSpot app partner. A couple years ago, we deleted a third of our app and went all in on the HubSpot platform. And I want to talk about why, because that's really what led us to this idea of the connected platform today and the Happy Customers Festival. So, we take this perspective that we want to meet the customer where they live. And for us in Arrows, which is a customer onboarding tool that's in the CRM. And for us, there's a lot of tools and processes that we need to connect to make that process successful. There's, PandaDoc for document signatures. There's Grain and tools like that for call recording. There's customer success processes in the CRM, and we don't have to build direct integrations with all those tools to enable our customers to be successful, because we have a great integration that pushes our tooling, our workflows, our process, our data into the CRM, into HubSpot. And then once we've done that, now we've connected to all these other apps, and that's more empowering for our customers, and ultimately, makes them happier, but more importantly, makes their customers happier, because we can deliver a better experience for everybody. So today you're going to hear from a handful of app partners in the HubSpot ecosystem that we believe take a similar approach to this sort of, ecosystem building sort of thing. And it's less about, how you should buy their tools, but we want to teach all of you how to think about running a connected platform sort of process out of one place, and how tools enable you to do that. But really, we want to educate you. It's not really checking out these tools specifically. But if you're interested, again, their logos below are links to their site. Check those out. So today you're going to see across marketing, if you come to every session, we're recording it, but you'll see across marketing, sales, and success, one continuous journey. So that's really the idea here is, can we host a webinar using Wistia and show how you can collect contacts there and store them in HubSpot. Show how Reveal can help you go to market with your partners to run those webinars, how handing off those contacts from the webinar to AirCall onto PandaDoc and Grain for your calls, Arrows and Service Hub and the post sales. So you'll see a whole connect story there. We really think you're going to love it. And basically from there, I want to talk about, here's the partners again. And now I want to bring up Yamini, and we're going to do a kind of quick introduction to the idea of what does it mean to be a connected platform, and what's it mean to maximize go-to-market in the HubSpot with that singular connected platform. And so with that, here's Yamini. Yamini, welcome.
Hey, Danielle, so nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me at the Happy Customer Festival. Who wouldn't want to be here?
Yeah, right. It's hard to argue with the idea of happy customers. It's a pretty easy name.
You had me at the name. Like, who would not want to be part of Happy Customer Festival? And there's always a question of what makes customers happy. And I think if you're in this ecosystem, if you're anyone in the broader ecosystem, you should be obsessed with that question. What makes your customers happy? What delights your customers? How can you serve your customers really well so that they become your advocates? When they become your advocates, then there's a whole nother flywheel that gets set in motion. So you had me at the name.
Yeah, you said happy, or you said you joined us very quickly. So I appreciate you doing that. And it must have been a good name because you did. So, all right. We're talking, we called it the Happy Customers Festival, but really the narrative of the day is the connected platform, the connected customer platform. Now, we were kind of tossing this idea around when we first went in HubSpot. Then I went to Inbound a year and a half ago and heard you get on stage and say the connected platform.
Yep.
So what is it? Like, talk to us about, like, what is your view of the connected platform at HubSpot?
Yeah. So before I talk about what it is, I want to start with why you need a customer platform. And Danielle, you've been following us for a very long time. We started as a marketing automation company and a sales, automation company. And when we originally started as a marketing automation company, we had a powerful observation, which is that when we did everything right for customers, they generated leads. They were able to double, triple, quadruple the number of leads that they were getting. And then they took those leads and they would send it into other systems, right? It could be Salesforce, it could be Microsoft Dynamics, it could be another spreadsheet, or point solutions, but they were sending it to another system. And as they were doing that, there was just a big leaky bucket. And then you know what happened? Marketing and sales started like pointing fingers at each other. You did not send me high quality leads. No, I sent the leads. You did not work those leads. How often have marketing and sales gotten into a room and had the same conversation of, you didn't send me good leads, you didn't work those leads? And as we observed that problem, we said that there is a fundamental need to provide clear visibility across the entire customer journey, from when they get to know you, when they visit you, when they download a paper, when they download your free software, to their experiences across the entire journey. And that's why we really wanted to have a customer platform. That's the why.
Yeah.
So then you ask the question of, what is the customer platform? Well, it's three things. First of all, it is these engagement hubs. This is where anybody in the front office, whether you're a marketer, you're a salesperson, you're a support person, customer success person, you engage with our hubs. And these are engagement hubs. Our marketing hub, sales hub, service hub are examples of engagement hubs. Then we have something called the Smart CRM. And this is probably the most powerful part of the customer platform, because it unifies all of your customer data and all of your teams into one single place. And if I talk to our happiest customers, they have found value from that CRM platform layer, or the Smart CRM layer. And third, probably most importantly, is ecosystem, right? The third part of a customer platform is an ecosystem. This is, all of the solution partners within the ecosystem. It is the marketplace that we have for all of app partners. It is the academy course content that we deliver, and it is the community that we have created. So engagement hubs plus Smart CRM plus ecosystem is the vision for the customer platform that is connected. And when you have a customer platform that is connected, you create happy customers.
Absolutely. So for you, it's having these teams not at odds with each other, but all working off the same sheet in a way,
Yeah,
having
exactly.
same source of truth for the contact and your customer and everything they've done. Now we all have the same kind of space to work off of. We can engage in the correct ways, and then apps in the ecosystem and partners can all engage in one system, meaning we
That's
get to deliver
exactly
a better
right. I mean,
experience, right?
just think about how powerful that is. Because
Yeah.
when I talk to our customers, I say, why did you pick HubSpot? And most often it goes to like 2 or 3 reasons, Danielle.
Yeah.
And the first one they say is, it's easy to use, and this comes to the value proposition that you deliver to our customers. When customers get onboarded right, when customers begin to use the product right in the first 7 days, in the first 21 days, in the first 30 days of their life cycle of any product usage, then you create value for customers. And so customers will tell us it's easy to use, it's fast time to value, and it's unified data in one place. That's the reason people look at HubSpot, people buy HubSpot, and people are happy with HubSpot. And especially that unified customer layer, you hit on something that is exceptionally important.
Yeah.
If a marketer wants to know, has my campaign had an impact?
Yeah.
What kind of campaigns have touched this particular customer? You go to the single customer record. If a salesperson wants to know, what was the blog that they read just yesterday, so I can talk to them about it when I get on the call today, they go back to that single unified customer record. If the support person wants to know, what did they buy? When did they buy? What's the transaction history? It's the single customer record. Almost
Absolutely.
every one of our customers who get onboarded right, who get value right, and who leverage our software start with that unified customer data.
Yeah, I was an early product manager at Twilio, and I worked on internal tools, and it was a nightmare having to try to connect different systems, and try to keep them in sync. That's what caused fights with people. And why don't you have resources? And for us, I think in 2024 and on, you're not just, HubSpot just added these customer success tools, which we're going to have that team on later today to show off the new
That's
HubSpot
awesome.
stuff. But you're going to have marketing to customers. You're not just marketing to new leads today. You're marketing to existing customers. You're selling to existing customers. So that unified view, I think you're spot on.
Yeah.
So what does it mean then for customers and how they choose products to integrate with HubSpot? If you have this connected platform, this unified view, how do you suggest teams evaluate other tools that integrate with the connected platform?
I think this is where the power of the ecosystem comes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in our journey, we went from an app to a suite to a platform. And I would say that the shift from a suite of products to the platform is probably the most profound shift that we have made as an organization. And the reason is this: what we saw with customer engagement and leveraging, the power of the ecosystem to increase the interaction and usage of our software came from the ecosystem of apps. This is no news for you, but it probably is for the broader ecosystem. An average HubSpot customer has 9 integrations with other pieces of software. Now, it could be project management software, it could be onboarding tools like Arrow, it could be accounting software, it could be HR software, it could be recruiting software, it could be any of those, ad, software. But we find that the average number of integrations with the HubSpot customer platform is about 9. And there is something magical that happens when our customers begin to bring data in, integrate with other key systems within their stack. They get a ton more value. Our churn decreases, the value that our customers increase, they stay longer, not just with us, but with the apps within the integrated stack, and they are retaining much better with the revenue retention, which is at least like 5 to 8 points higher. So from a value delivered perspective, the more integrated we are as an ecosystem, the more value our customers get and the more happier they are. And so this has just been proven time and time again. And that's why this move to kind of like a connected ecosystem is really, really important for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for our perspective, if I'm closing a deal in the sales pipeline, I need to meet the customer where they live, our customer, and let them continue that workflow there. But if I'm now looking at that contact and going, where are they in their journey? I want to see which onboarding steps they've taken or take action from there. And I can't do that if we've siloed that data into our system. I have to meet them where them and the rest of their team is already looking at everything. If I'm Yamini trying to figure out what's going on with my biggest customers, I'm going to go to the CRM. And so my data from my tool, Arrows, needs to meet you in the CRM, or else it's lost. It's not valuable. All right. So you've been connected, you've been committed, I should say, to the partner ecosystem. It's been core to the strategy here. So it's critical, but I'm curious about your observations when the app ecosystem and generally, when you first joined HubSpot, it's been 4 or 5 years now. What was the app ecosystem like when you joined? It was pretty nascent, but how have you seen it start, and then how's it evolved?
Yeah, and maybe it's even way beyond that. Look, I will say that one of my bigger observations about the space that we're in is that the more connected you are as an ecosystem, the more you win and the more success you deliver to your customers. And this came way before in my career. I was in a partner ecosystem. I was a partner within the ecosystem. And there's just so much value that can be delivered by having a great, thriving partner ecosystem. And so it is interesting. I joined HubSpot about 4.5 years ago, January 2020, pretty, crazy times. But, literally the first week I was having this conversation with Brian Halligan, who is just absolutely awesome, co-founder of HubSpot. And in the first conversation, he said, look, here's one of your priorities. You have to figure out, we have a direct sales team, we have a solution partner team, and then we have a whole set of nascent, ecosystem of app partners. It always feels like when we all work together, it feels like 1 + 1 + 1 = 2.5. There's something like that is draining out of that whole process. There's conflict, there's friction. It just doesn't seem like everybody is lined up against the same objective for delivering for the customer. And your goal is to get to 1 + 1 + 1 = 5 or higher. And I was like, okay, challenge accepted. And because I honestly came into the role believing in the power of the ecosystem. And why did I believe in the power of the ecosystem? Because it's good for customers. You always start with customers. At HubSpot, we talk about solving for customers as kind of the North Star. And when you solve for the customers, you know that the better they're onboarded, the more integrated they are, the faster they get value, the longer they retain. And that is literally the formula. The magic of the formula is not just you independently trying to add value. It is you connected with an ecosystem that's adding value. And so very early in the journey within HubSpot, we stepped back and we said, what is the strategy for the overall ecosystem? And our strategy was to source, co-sell, service, and integrate with expert partners within the ecosystem. That is literally the strategy that we set out, back in 2020. And I think we are seeing that strategy play out. We've invested pretty heavily with our solution partners. We've invested very heavily within the app partner ecosystem. We now have more than 1,600 integrations. And the depth and breadth of integrations have grown over the past few years. And all of this is servicing just one North Star goal: solving for the customer and increasing the value that we can deliver to customers.
Absolutely. No, I mean, we've seen it. We've been in the ecosystem, 2 years now, and the progress has been awesome. And I think we hear a lot from your team around you, like how much progress is still to come. We're pretty excited about it. So with that said, can you speak to your understanding or your experience with the current landscape of app integrations, and particularly where they might boost go-to-market efforts? We have a lot of marketing, sales, success folks here.
Yeah, I think maybe stepping back, we are in the middle of some very big transformations, both as a company as well as an industry. As a company, I would say that we're still early innings of going from app to suite to platform. I would say that we probably checked off the app to suite. We now have 7 different hubs, and all of those hubs are growing really well. So we've checked that off. But we're still in the early innings of going from suite to platform. And that, motion of going from suite to platform only happens when there is a thriving ecosystem of app partners that are integrated with our customer platform. And we talked about the power of those integrations and what value it delivers to our customers. That's number one. The second thing is that we're also going from what I would call like the smaller portion of SMB, the 20% to 100% company, to mid-market companies, scaling companies with 1,000 to 2,000 employees. And as you think about that, when we talk to those customers, almost the first thing they ask after, checking the box on, do you have a product that does what we want to do, is do you have integrations within the ecosystem? We have a tech stack of 15 different things, and we're trying to make sure that there is a place where we can bring all of that data, where it is cohesive, where it helps our teams get much more productive and much more effective in their jobs. And do you have integrations? Literally the second question they ask after checking the box on, you have the basic functionality? Do you have the integrations that are needed? And so especially as we go up market, working with the thriving ecosystem is really important. And then the third big transformation, which I would say that we're super, super early, is AI. And we'll talk about AI, but AI has been around for a while, but it had its big wow moment, November 2022, and it's very, very early, but it is reinventing, what we think of how front office needs to get work done. And part of that AI story is the ability to make it easy for your end customers to get information across the entire stack. It doesn't matter whether you're pulling it from HubSpot or someone else within the ecosystem. It just has to deliver the insights. And so I think it's pretty early days, and we're going to find that ecosystem and integrations are going to be as important or even more important in the world of AI, because underlying everything that we will go through as part of the AI transformation is data about your customer.
Absolutely.
And if data about your customer is across multiple places, then you want to be able to bring it in and then drive the insights. And so what I think is like, it's super early in terms of where we are within the ecosystem, and there's just a lot more journey. you asked a specific question about, go to market.
Yeah.
Over the last, couple of years, and you know this really well, we've worked with Reveal, which is, which is the way in which we can say, okay, Arrows, and HubSpot, we have close to 1,000 customers in common. And here are other customers who look like those, customers where, maybe they are just using HubSpot today, or maybe they're just using something else today. How can we deliver joint value? Because again, the fundamental thing that we have learned is that when the stack is integrated, when our customers get much more usage, they stay longer, they get much more value. And so from a go-to-market perspective, we have started looking at ways to see where there is joint, overlap of the customer base, and where we can, coordinate even more to drive customer value. And that's kind of like exciting part of the journey.
Yeah, and I think you hit on something there. A lot of the folks here in the audience are buyers of software. First HubSpot, almost always, but if they're evaluating integrations, what we've seen is there's still an evolution both of the quality of integration still happening.
Yeah.
We used to call them data extractive. HubSpot has a corpus of really valuable data. I'm an app. Let me go plug in and pull that data into my system, but provide no value back to the core ecosystem, the core connected platform. And now that HubSpot's showing what good looks like and becoming, making this full step into being a true ecosystem, I think companies are going to be left behind if they build their integrations in that way. And customers are going to start evaluating those integrations by, do you push data back into this core system so my AI tooling can actually use it, or my other workflows can use it? So you mentioned Reveal.
Yeah.
If I have my integrations of which my customer has set up via Reveal saved in HubSpot, I can put that into the Arrows onboarding plan. And that sort of opportunity is only possible if we're pushing all that data into the platform.
I mean, you know it. You've seen this over and over again, which is, the depth and breadth of integrations, but also how unified your data becomes as part of integrations. I think if you just have field level integrations and it's not adding that much value, that's not what the customers are looking for. They're actually looking for, can I bring all of my customer and context data into a place that then I can use to drive insights, then I can use to drive growth. I think that's where it comes from.
Absolutely. And then now with the new customer success tooling, we're doing it from start to end, the whole customer journey, which is really awesome.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm looking forward. I'm going to catch up on that session. I'm sure it's
you have to. I mean, you used to be chief customer officer. You care about it, and
I know.
Paul and team they're awesome. We're thrilled
reminding
about
me of my roots. Thank you.
Of course. Okay, AI. We couldn't get out of here without touching on AI. Everybody knows it. So
yes,
particularly generative AI, and HubSpot's been very quick and early to make moves here. But it's reshaping the industry, business models. What's your vision for HubSpot and the platform, and how the ecosystem together, and AI supports business growth?
Yeah, there are two parts to that answer. One is, how do we see AI kind of, really transforming front office, and then what are we doing about it? The what are we doing about it is pretty simple, and we think that there's only going to be one type of CRM, which is an AI-first CRM. It's that moment where color TV came, and then nobody said, oh, I want to buy black and white TV, and then wait for color to appear. No, you only bought color TV, and then you stopped asking for color as part of the TV because you expected the TV to
just
be
was
color
TV,
right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. So when we'd been looking at predictive AI as well as generative AI even before it kind of burst out on the scene, but we just really stopped, pivoted our roadmap, and started bringing a lot more features to the forefront last year and this year. So we've been on that journey now for about a year and a half, and our vision is simple. We want HubSpot's entire customer platform, all of our engagement hubs, as well as the smart CRM, to be embedded with AI. You don't need to buy a separate AI because it's embedded within our smart CRM, and it's embedded within every one of our engagement hubs, because we think we got to take something very sophisticated like LLMs. You don't need to understand any of that stuff, and make it easy for you to get work done. That is our vision, and that's how we're thinking about it. And Everything that we're doing is to just embed it and remove the cognitive burden and the cognitive load for our customers so that they can just leverage AI to make it easy to get their jobs done. That's our vision. Now, I do think that the way our industry is going to go through will develop in stages. And the first stage, probably the last year and a half, maybe a little part of this year, is just what I call table stakes. When we know the basic use cases with generative AI, you can generate better content, you can generate better images, you can write better blogs, you can do better call summaries, you can have knowledge bases that will answer questions that are basic for your customers. All of those basic use cases are table stakes.
Yeah.
It is just expected in any marketing, sales, and service software. That is not the point of differentiation. So the first phase of the journey is just getting to table stakes, which is what everybody is doing. The second phase of the journey is differentiation, right? This is where context matters. This is where industry specialization matters. This is where going deep in marketing or going deep in sales or going deep in education or healthcare or manufacturing, that level of context matters. And we're going to find the ability to differentiate what we offer by bringing much more context. People say that data is important. Context is even more important, and specialized context is even more important. It's not just blah data. It's not like take the data in the World Wide Web and like put it into something, and that's only going to have a certain level of usage and value. It's then the contextual specialized data for your industry, for your function, for your segment. And that's kind of where we are focused on. We want to be able to take all the context of the data and make every marketeer a PhD level marketeer. Every salesperson, amazing, salesperson, every service leader, most insightful service leader. That is really the focus. And that's kind of like second phase. I do think there is a third phase in terms of AI development, which is reimagination of business models. And if you take the journey that, something like App Store and mobile went through, iPhone, smartphone, 2007, App Store, 2008.
Yeah.
And you had between 2009 and 2011, a whole set of apps come up on the App Store. And I personally loved Candy Crush. I was on Candy Crush a little too much back in those days, but it didn't quite add as much value. But then you started getting real innovation, complete reimagination. We reimagined transportation with Uber. We reimagined with DoorDash. We reimagined with Airbnb. And so new business models were born. And I think we will go through a phase like that of reimagining work and reimagining how front office, marketing, sales, and service teams get their work done. Not quite there yet. So table stakes, differentiation, and reimagination. And again, super early phase of AI. It's pretty exciting. I have to say, I haven't gotten this excited. I'm like doing my first job, at HubSpot, and then there's the evening job of catching up what happened within generative AI on the day, and you need like a couple of hours to actually catch up with what happened on.
You have to like both catch up on what happened, but also actually play around to understand it and learn. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I think you're spot on with the analogy to mobile and the apps that came out. Like that first few years where they're pretty, I don't know, obvious and simple solutions. They're not, a lot of them were joke apps. There was the, flashlight was an app, and it took a few years for us to understand what the medium was capable of and how to build those things. And, I think you're right. A lot of the tooling today in AI is it's proactive as a user, as a customer. I have to go trigger it. Hey, generate this blog post for me. But as you hit on with, once I have that context, the system has the context and the data. Eventually, it should be able to be invisible AI in the background where it actually does work for me on my behalf and meets me where I am. And that's what we're getting closer to, which is, some things are bubbling up and doing it, but we're working on some interesting stuff there. I can't wait to show you. And I know you all are too. So Yamini, this was phenomenal. Anything you want to leave us with, or are you good? This was great.
No, happy customers. I want to leave you with where we got started, which is, in almost any economy, in almost any technology shift, in almost any industry, the only thing that we have to be obsessed about is how do we delight and make our customers happy. So thank you so much for putting this together, and good luck for everybody in the ecosystem.
I'll say, just to put a pin in that, I talked to my old boss, Jeff Lawson, who you know, and anytime I talk to a HubSpotter, it's like, if you have any questions, how does this help the customer? It's always about the customer. And like, how do we make this business choice? I don't know what helps the customer. So I think you're spot on. Thank you, Yamini.
Thank you for
everybody
having me.
Say thank you. We'll let you get out of here, get back to doing your very important job, and we're all beneficiaries of it. So
see you.